Welcome to the channel. This is Geauxgreddy and welcome to the 2020-2021 FIA Manufacturers Exhibition season at the Temple of Speed. That's right, we are at Monza. And what do I get to race Monza in? Well, you guessed it, the Volkswagen Scirocco. I know, you're jealous. It's all right. Stick around. Check out how I did. Before we get to the action, be so kind as hit the like and or subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, here we are in qualifying, and I went out and jumped in the slipstream of K-Bonix, who sat in pole in my previous race to this one, which I don't really want to talk about because I did absolutely terrible in the race previous to this. In fact, if you want to watch it, you can check it out on PX Cam 20's live stream. I think I blew by him in the breaking point several times there. Anyway, so I had a 157.832 before that was like a 158. So I was following the slipstream, doing everything like you're supposed to do, and it didn't turn out too well. So I stayed out there after my 157.832. There wasn't really enough time to exit out and get back around the track and do all that. So I just stayed out and. I was kind of relaxed. I was in P7. I was like, I may fall back to P10 or something like that. Not a big deal. So I figured I'd just go around the track, just kind of get a feel for it, get the old arms and feet all loosened up and whatnot. And as I come out of this second Lesmo here, I was like, hey, this lap isn't going so badly. So speed up here as I head towards Ascari, and I've got a purple sector going into Ascari. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's pretty good. I've only got basically two corners left, Ascari and then the Parabolica, and heck yeah, I'm at the end. So keep the foot planted. Let's see what I can pull off here. So fast forward here to Parabolica and come around the corner nicely and just dip down into the 70s. Not what I wanted. Tire wear was I was starting to feel it a little bit. I had been pushing pretty hard in the previous two laps, so didn't quite get the exit I wanted, but still, looking up at the time, was not terrible and crossed the line with a 157.312, which put me at the time in P3. Now, I end up dropping back down to P4. So let's jump in here, listen to Opera Lady, that fine Italian at our Italian racetrack, and let's get to the start of the race. All right, thank you, Opera Lady. Yes, indeed. Let's get to the start. There I am in P4 in that fine Scirocco, if I do say so myself. And, I know when I think of Monza and the Temple of Speed, I think Volkswagen Scirocco. And you're like, Grady, what are you doing? Why are you on the track in the front-wheel drive Scirocco? Because this is a 6-time tire wear race, only a 2-time fuel. I think it was 2X fuel. And so I said, what the heck, man? Let's go for it. Let's have fun. It's the last exhibition season, man. Let's just do it. So we come into turn 1. No major craziness, which is really nice. So all the folks in front, all the folks behind, excellent job. Look at there, coming out of the first chicane, and I've already got a second gap to P5. So Equus Ferrum dropping back, so my eyes get like saucers. So I'm like, let's go, let's do this. So I get on the tail end of the Jaguar, and I am just willing them on as we come towards Parabolica in the first lap. Get on the brakes here, and Punka, whatever, knocks K-Bonix completely off the track. So P1 and P2 are off the track, and I am still in the slipstream of the Jaguar. That is right. And look at the gap. With 1.4 seconds, a gap between me and P3. So I'm looking at the Jag. I'm like, no, get back over here. Don't go over to the right. Get back to the left. Get on the racing line. We need to go. The guys that are behind us are not slower than we are. In fact, K-Bonix is pretty darn quick. And so is Pucka, whatever his name is. He's pretty quick too. And Equus isn't really slow. So I'm bum drafting the Jaguar. I'm like, dude, get on your horse or your cat or whatever the heck you want to call it. And then he goes way over the left. What is he doing way over there? Get back to the. Look. I will hang out behind you, and we can go for 10 laps like this. Me and you just lapping it out. But I mean, I need some cooperation, McLaren Fiji. Get on the racing line and push that little Jaguar, because right now I'm like, are you paying attention to anything that's going on behind us at all? Like, what are you doing? So we come through this part of the track, and this is really, what we just went through was my best part of the track. So that's where I usually make up all my time on, folks. So I'm sitting about 3/10 off here's bumper. Now Equus is now just getting back in the slipstream, and I'm just fuming because he took those terrible lines through the first two chicanes, and that's where you got to gain all your time. At least for me it is. Because right here I'm not gaining time really hardly on anybody, because the front wheel drive car is just absolutely terrible in a Scari. It just wants to go straight, and I need it to rotate, and it's just. And then it gets back over the right again and compromises his entrance into Parabolica, which is a strong corner for the Jaguar. I wasn't even peeking to the inside. I wasn't even looking over there. So I was kind of beside myself at this point in the race. I was just like, what are you doing? Anyway. So, I mean, I set a fastest first lap there with the 159.2. Of course, right behind me, K Bonix puts in a 158.1, and I'm thinking, we're not even going very fast. So, I'm going to take the lead. I'm going to take this bull by the horns, and I'm going to put down some fast lap times, because I've got to come into the pit at lap 10 because I'm in the front-wheel drive Scirocco, and these tires are going to be absolutely toast by the end of the race. It is quintessential for me to hit these chicanes quickly, because that's where my Scirocco's strong point is putting down that power coming out of the chicane, because front wheel drive I don't have to worry about the rear end whipping around on me, as long as I enter the chicane. Okay. the rear end will come around if you hit it wrong. But anyway, so I get on the brakes there before the driveway. I send it down in here. I catch it nicely in the 60s, gassing on the way out. I'm 64, 65 coming out, and I am pulling on the guy behind me there. McLaren is falling back 7/10, and I look up and I'm like, what? No, it's second, no, 8/10. I'm out of the slipstream now, a little more than 8/10, coming into the second Lesmo, and I've got almost a full second of lead heading towards the Scari, but I've got to pull over and take my penalty. Now, if we look at that, watch my lead just absolutely fade away into the night. I mean, it went from a 1 second lead all the way down to, I mean, I'm 1.2 seconds behind the leader now, so that's a 2.2 second, 1 second penalty. That's the longest 1 second penalty in mankind. Like, can the folks at GT Sport even count? Like, did they try this? Did they try it out on the track at all? Did they? Because that was a 1.2 plus 1's 2.2 second penalty. Anyway, I digress. So anyway, I jump back in the slipstream here. I'm like, okay, at least we got a big gap to closer here in P5. He's about 5 seconds back, and which is good, because, like I said, I want a gap. I got to put a gap in there because I'm on the I'm in the front wheel drive car, and it's going to chew through the tires in 10 laps, and I've got to change them. And here, I kind of peeked down the inside. Not really. I'm just trying not to hit McLaren Fiji from behind, right there. So we come out of the corner. All right, everyone's intact. Still putting time between me and P5, or trying to. As you can see now, Chase Cam, or it's actually now Chase Clam, is behind us. He picked up that position from Tuvok, and he's starting to pick up a little bit of steam on us. Here, I'm just going over to the right, just try and get a better angle on my braking marker. When you get like 3 or 4 cars in a row like that, and the Jag was a little bit tall, so it was really hard to kind of see around the Jag. I had a problem in one of the earlier races. I think I had a Jag, no, it was an Aston to the inside, which is kind of taller car as well. And then on the outside, I had a Viper. I couldn't see my braking point anyway, so I'm trying to learn to peek out around the side if I can't see it, just to make sure I don't murder myself or someone else. So anyway, lap 4, heading down the back straight towards Ascari, putting that gap on P5. Need as much as I can get, so I'm going to bump draft here on McLaren Fiji. You don't want to, you really don't want to go side by side through Ascari, especially if you're in the front wheel drive car. I can barely make it through here by myself, much less next to another car. So as you can see, I'm just doing all that I can. begging as much as I can of those tires to grip through that corner as well as Parabolica. So we fast forward through there on lap 5. I'm 4/10 behind McLaren Fiji, and I've got 4 seconds. And what a move by Geauxgreddy. I mean, did you see that? The cat-like reflexes. He broke a little bit early. I broke a little bit late, and the result of that was I had to go around him so I didn't, hit him off into Narnia over there. So it looked like a really crappy dive bomb from his point of view. I'm 100% certain about, but it totally was not intentional at all. He just broke a tad bit earlier than I thought he would, and I broke a tad bit later than I should have, and that was the result. So it was really I think it was kind of both of our fault right there. But I kept the hammer down because I'm staying in the slipstream. I really don't care about his feelings at this point. We didn't touch. We got through it all right, and I've got to get space between me and that big, angry group of racers behind us. So fast forward here later into lap 6. As you see, Equus Ferrum takes a nice, healthy chunk out of the first corner of Ascari, and it's going to cost him 1.5 seconds. So tack that on to the top. I need to put my head down and get on his rear bumper. K Bonnick's already pulling off in the distance. Now he's 2.6 or so seconds in front of us. Now you can do math. The person in second is only 0.4 seconds ahead. So he's a healthy 2.5 seconds out, or 2.3 seconds or so out in front of all of us, all three of us right here. So I don't know that I will be able to catch K Bonnick's, but like I said, that is really not my goal. My goal is to put time between me and the big honking crowd in the background. So I'm going to go down the slipstream here, and then you see the Jaguar go the right. We're going to have 3 cars wide going into turn 1. The Jag backs out. I brake on time this time, unlike the previous race where I kept missing my brake point right there. Because there's the 150 brake marker exists on the left side, but it doesn't exist on the right side. So when you see the brake marker coming up on the right side and you're thinking 150, it's really the 100 board. So don't make that mistake that I've made a couple of times. It's not the 100 board. So here we go. Fast forward now on to lap number 7. And I am in P2, but look behind me here as I got a terrible couple of corners in the Lesmos. The Jag is starting to reel me in. Now, this is lap 7, and I've got to make it to 10 on these tires. Now, if you look at my front tires down there, they're not absolutely terrible. They're really not bad at all at this point. They will get much worse. Lap 8, now the Jag's finding his advantage. Now, see, as he's staying on that outside line, he's able to cut back across, get the car to rotate. He's going to make up ground on me quickly here as we come out the other end. As you can see, the Delta ticking away as he makes a good run on me coming down the straight towards the chicane. I'm not going to fight this. I have no desire to fight this. We have 11 more laps to go, and like I said, all I want to do is gap the field. I don't really consider Equus the field. He's 2.8 seconds behind me, but I am paying attention to his time because his time and my time start dropping rapidly. That definitely means I need to get off these tires because the Corvette doesn't have the greatest tire wear. I mean, it's better than a front-wheel drive car, but it's not the greatest. So we will fast forward again. As you can see, I am slowly losing time to the Jaguar. My front tires are just losing grip. Like I said, I'm asking twice as much of my front tires than everyone else. So not only do they have to provide the cornering grip, they also have to provide the acceleration grip. So I don't get to split that between the front and the rear. So I've decided I have absolutely got to get into the pit. No stretching it to 11 laps to try and make the gap bigger. I'm going to head into the pits right here. I was in P3, 5.9 seconds out of the lead. About a second in front of Equus. So I go in, and I have no idea why my team is wearing pink clothes. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because I'm in the Scirocco. I don't know. I don't like it. I didn't choose pink. Not that there's anything wrong with pink. It's just not my favorite color. I prefer other colors than pink. So anyway, we got to figure that out. We got to make a change. So looking up in the rearview mirror, and oh my goodness, dodged a bullet, or rather a bullet dodged me as Chase Clam thankfully misses me as we come into the braking zone there as I come out of the pits in P6. Oh my goodness, that was close. Had he hit me, that could have been a totally different race for me in the end. So I come out about 1.8 seconds behind Tuvok, 14 seconds behind P1. So I lost about 9 seconds or so in that pit stop. Can I gain it back? Can I get back to that P3 position where I was before I went into the pits? That is the question that must be answered. So we will transition here on to later in lap number 11. I am running down Tuvok. I'm under 1.3 seconds now, and well, Tuvok's he saw the writing on the wall and he just gave up into the pits. I'd like to think it was me, but I know better. So next on the list, closer 11:38 up ahead in front of us there. I believe he's in the Viper, and I'm really reeling him in. He was like I want to say 3.5 seconds or so in front of me. I can't remember. He was a good bit out there in front of me. We've knocked this down to 1.6 seconds. Feeling good about chasing him down before the end of this lap so I can set my sights on Equus Ferrum. So as we come around Parabolica, the Scirocco is digging in as we come out, telling those front wheel tires to giddy on up. And look at there. Closer goes in the pits too. So another Greddy pass for yours truly. And look at that, a 1:57.468. That is fastest lap so far. Boding well for old Greddy. Heading down into the first chicane and almost lose it. The rear end started to come out. I was able to gather up. I had a pucker moment there as my sphincter could have made diamonds out of coal in that corner. I was just finally making up ground on Equus Ferrum. I'm now within 4.6 seconds, and you might have saw what I saw, a penalty. That is right. So Equus has a penalty. Now you saw how long my 1 second penalty was, cost me 2 seconds. His half-second penalties, you look there at the delta, dropping from 4.6 seconds all the way down to 3.6 seconds. That's right, a full second worth of penalty. Again, GT Sport cannot do the basic math of how long a half-second is. I don't know how they calculated that. It doesn't even work. It just makes no sense to me. Anyway. This is neither here nor there. We all have to live by the same penalties, same rules. So, get through the chicane here, and I am running down Equus Ferrum. I'm within 3 point. Wait. What was that? Well, a penalty? I didn't cut that. I was beside myself. Right? I didn't cut that corner. You got to have at least 2 wheels off the sausage. So you cannot put all 4 wheels on the sausage or over the sausage. So you can put the right ones over. You can. But you can't touch it. If you get the right ones over the sausage, you can't touch it with your left ones. And apparently, I touched that curb. As you can see, the Michelins were digging into the asphalt, driving me towards that curb. And I guess I touched it. And that was another 2 seconds for me. So I had gotten within 2.8 seconds. 2.8 seconds of Equus Ferrum with 4.5 laps to go. And look at that. A 1 second penalty cost you 2. Back at 4.9 seconds. And the thing is as I get closer to Equus, my tire advantage is dwindling. So I needed to be right there in that slipstream heading into the last couple of laps. But I was not. So unable to chase him down with the old front-wheel drive Scirocco. And, well, it was a valiant effort. We crossed the line. P4, not terrible. We did have another front-wheel drive in the room. Force 4A was in here in his Scirocco as well. Didn't see any RCZs because they are chicken. That's all right. Guys driving Volkswagens know where it's at. 195 points. My best on the season. Not too bad. So, hope you enjoyed the race. If you did, like I said, please hit that like and or subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. Until next time, y'all have a great evening. DJ Clean, take us out of here.